The state of Vermont is failing. The state of Vermont is failing our working. The state of Vermont is failing our working class people. Every essential worker who wants a vaccine should be prioritized to receive a vaccine. This is an open letter to Vermont Governor Phil Scott, to Lieutenant Governor Molly Gray, and to all the Vermont state leadership involved in the vaccine rollout. If you're an everyday Vermonter like me, I ask that you share this video and help get the message in front of them. I do want to say, first off, that I think our state is generally very well run, and that I hope that this video comes off as a scathing criticism of a specific policy and not as a broadside personal attack on any individual. I also want to say that I believe in the vaccine, and I believe the vaccine is effective, but I don't think that anybody should be forced to take it. Not that that's even a conversation yet, because the data on the effectiveness of stopping transmission is not yet solid. And the last thing I want to start with is just noting that I'm not an essential worker or a frontline worker, that I'm not advocating for myself to receive a vaccine, although I do want one. I'm a 29-year-old healthy young guy, so if I need to be the last person in Vermont to get the vaccine, then I will accept that. The state leadership has said that the vaccine rollout has been data-driven. The problem with this can be illustrated with the following example. A civilian going to a combat zone, like a war zone, is much more likely to die than a trained soldier. And yet we don't go to all our men and women serving in the Middle East, and we don't take away their guns, their bulletproof jackets, their protective equipment, and give it to me or Joe Schmo sitting at home stateside. What we do is we say anybody with the privilege of not serving overseas on the front line, we ask and we expect that you stay home. And for anybody who is out there on the front, courageously serving, we give them all of our resources to give them the most adequate, most sufficient, most effective protection that we can afford. I think war is probably the best metaphor for what our society has faced with respect to COVID. And just like a lot of us have the privilege of not working on the front line, I think that the sensible and the compassionate thing to do is to offer that protection to anybody serving on the front line who wants it. I went to Burlington yesterday to protest on this issue. I just held the sign up. Here's me with the sign. And I ended up having a couple really interesting conversations. One of them was with a UPS driver who said that he's worked through the entire pandemic and that, terribly, he delivers the vaccine to the hospital every morning and has not received a vaccine and cannot receive a vaccine. I ask, where is the sense in that and where is the compassion in that? I want to sort of talk about two hypothetical people. John Doe lives in this big house. Let's say he's got two homes. He's primarily a resident of Florida or Connecticut, and he's decided to take shelter in a second home here in Charlotte. These are not real people. John Doe is 65, he's retired, he's a multimillionaire, and hey, because he's 65, he can get the vaccine. Now let's take Jane Doe. Jane Doe is a school teacher. She has served faithfully, lovingly, educating multiple generations of Vermonters. She has diabetes or some sort of underlying condition and cannot receive a vaccine, even though she's working in person with students every day, students that are eating boogers and kissing each other and doing all sorts of things. I ask again, where is the sense and where is the compassion in John Doe receiving a vaccine and Jane Doe not? I have to say that I'm not upset that anybody who is 65 up has received a vaccine. I celebrate that every person has received a vaccine. I think it's progress and I think it's good. I just think that the priority is wrong. We have experienced, we've lived with COVID long enough now that we know how to avoid it. And if you are not working on the front line, it is very possible for you to take care of your basic core needs without being exposed to the virus. Is it tough? Yes, absolutely. But it is nowhere near like working at a gas station or delivering or working at a grocery store and all these jobs that people work not only because if they don't work it, they can't pay rent and they can't feed their kids, but also our society stops functioning. And for all these people who have courageously served on the front line, I think we owe them more than just signs of gratitude. I think these words are kind, they're great, they're wonderful, but if we stop there, then they just become words. And now that we have the material ability with actual vaccines coming into our state, being distributed, now that we have this material ability to follow through on this stated gratitude, I think that is what we should do. It is the sensible thing, it is the compassionate thing, and I urge our state leadership to seriously reconsider this current vaccine rollout. Yeah, I think I've kind of said it all. If you agree with me, and I ask again that you share this video and help me get the message in front of our state leadership, because I think it's a vital conversation to have. Yeah, thank you for your time watching this video and so forth. I will likely be back in Burlington protesting just at the sign, one-man protest. It's times of COVID. It's not time to get en masse, but I do think that the statement should be made. I will likely be in Burlington this week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 1 to 3-ish p.m. It's not going to be solid. If you want to come out and make a sign and stand with me, I ask that you wear a mask and we keep distance and so forth. And if you see me, I ask that you honk and, send some love. That's it for me today. Thank you. Be blessed. Take care of yourselves. And, the last thing I wanted to say, I kind of lost my way because I get really cold and lose my mind. The thing that I want to say is that I went to Middlebury College, and a lot of the hoity-toity liberals that I went to school with and knew, and oftentimes I am that hoity-toity liberal, but a lot of them had the most impossible time understanding why anybody would vote for Trump. And I think this vaccine rollout is a perfect illustration of why. And it's not because people are inherently misogynistic or racist or love assholes. It's purely because many, many people feel forgotten. And I think worse than forgetting somebody or leaving someone out of the picture is giving them false hope or false promise. And I kind of think that the difference between putting up signs like these and then denying essential workers priority for vaccines is, in my mind and in my heart, feels pretty equivalent to false hope. And if we want to live in a more compassionate society and we want to live in a healthy, vibrant community, then I really think that it's important that, again, we say the nice thing and that we say what we mean. Let me wash my mind clean. It is important that we say what we mean and that we act upon our intent. That's it. Thank you all. Have a wonderful day.